Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to do a pretty large book haul for y'all. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mary Barfield, and I am a homeschooling mama to a kindergartner and a second grader. And ever since I started homeschooling, I have become obsessed with getting books, but also really good deals on books. I am now the thriftiest of thrift shoppers. Before I was just your standard person. I'd buy the book new. I didn't even think about looking for used books. And I don't know why I never did that before homeschooling, because I have gotten some fantastic deals. Actually, quite a few of these hauls I got for either $0 or very low percentage. I'll try and include costs of what things were, if I have them written down or if I can remember them for you. I'll also link down below where I got them, because quite a few of these I got online. So at Abesbooks, eBay, Thriftbooks, Amazon, Christianbooks.com. And then I also got a few at my local thrift store, because we do have a pretty large homeschooling community in our area, and they are very generous to donate a lot of their books, just as I do, back to our thrift store, so we can kind of like share our books with each other in the community for 50 cents a piece. So I'll stop rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and show them to you in chunks of like where I got them from, and we'll just dive in. Some of them are for my children, some of them are for me, some of them are for next school year, and I'll kind of talk through that as I share them with you. Okay, so first haul I'm gonna go over with you is from Amazon, and I got all these. This might be girl math to y'all, but you tell me, let me know if this is girl math or not. I got all these for free. And the reason I say I got them all for free is because I went and had my annual eye appointment in December, and I bought a whole year's worth of contacts, and as a rebate, I guess Alcon is the company that is giving it. That's who I get my contacts through. They said, hey, if you buy a whole year's worth of contacts, which I've always done, just because I just want to have them and not have to go back and get them. If you do that, we'll give you a $75 rebate card. I was like, awesome, in the form of a Visa gift card. And so I had a $75 Visa gift card, and these books were under the $75 mark altogether. Actually, I think I bought like some other stuff that was not books with this, but I'm considering the portion of the gift card I used for these books, it's free. So you tell me if that's girl math. Gift card, that's money I would have never had before. I consider that free, yeah? Let me know. So first off, I am super excited about this book, this one book I'm going to tell you about. Oh man, it's a hefty one though. I found out about it from the woman who creates Simple Studies. She has a YouTube channel, and I will link that down below because I actually really enjoy her YouTube videos. She doesn't put out a ton, but it's probably because she's so busy homeschooling her kids and creating curriculum from Simple Studies. But the videos she has put out, I absolutely enjoy watching, and I may have rewatched some a few times. She's a Charlotte Masoner homeschooler like myself. But because of that, she is very intuitive and very smart when it comes to nature study. And she recommended this book that I'm about to share with you. And I get why, because as soon as it came in, my girls were flipping through it and they couldn't stop themselves. And this is just a reference book that we will be able to use from now until they go to college. I'm not kidding. And it is D.K. Smithsonian, wow, I can't talk today, guys, Natural History. And y'all, this is extensive. It's got so many pictures and factoids, and I mean, it goes over plants, animals, ecology. Leave the little turtle. Sorry, this is late at night, so I've got my ring light, so this might not be good for the books, but I mean, it goes over everything. Just a really quick glance at the context. We've got Living Earth as like subsets of the book. Living Earth, minerals, rocks, and fossils. Microscopic life, plants, fungi, animals, and animals is quite an extensive section, y'all. I mean, the pictures are beautiful. The content is rich. I mean, you could use this for any nature study that you are doing. This is a great reference and go-to, and my kids couldn't stop pulling it off the shelf and looking through it. I was like, please be careful, don't rip the pages. But and it is under $30 for how hefty, I mean, this is huge. How hefty this is. If I had paid full price for it and not used my girl math and my free gift card, I still would have think this is a fantastic deal on Amazon. So go scoop you Natural History. The next 3 books from Amazon are actually for me and my mother academia, so my mother culture, what I'm reading to increase my knowledge and broaden my horizons. And I actually probably will do an updated video. If you haven't seen my original video, I'll link it up here about how I'm educating myself. But I'll probably do an update here soon in the next month or 2 about how that's been going, what I've accomplished from a reading perspective, and how my brain is expanding in all new ways. But so these are books that are on my to be read list for my mother academia, my own mother culture list. Okay, so the first one is Brave New World. I just actually finished up 1984. I don't know why that took me so long to finish, but it's a hefty book, and the context is it's just pretty kind of bleak because it's basically a post-apocalyptic world, which is basically the same thing as this. But for some reason, I really like those kinds of stories. So I feel like this is in the same vein as 1984, and I'll probably really enjoy it. And I've been recommended it by my husband and everybody else on this planet. So I'm finally getting to read it. I, for some reason, was not prescribed this in high school as a read. So I'm getting to it now in my 30s. Next, I got Weapons of Mass Instruction by John Taylor Gatto. I actually read his book, Dumbing Us Down, and I thought that was a very, very good read. I got a lot out of it, lots of notes from it. This is another book that he wrote after the fact. He was a teacher in New York State, and he has a lot of experience in the public school system, and he has a lot of good perspectives and thoughts about it and what's going on with our educational system. So excited to read this one as well. And the last book I got from Amazon is How to Teach Your Children Shakespeare. This is one that I'm going to be reading here quite soon because we are in the midst of reading Shakespeare with my oldest daughter, and next year my youngest daughter will be joining us with the Ambleside online schedule. And I was told, recommended by actually quite a few people, to include some of y'all, to definitely get this if you're going to teach your children Shakespeare. So I'm really excited to read it. It's actually a lot bigger and thicker than I thought it was gonna be. So I'll be interested to see what this is all about, and I will absolutely update you guys on what I think about it and if there's any good factoids and tidbits in here. But this has been recommended by so many people, so I'm sure it's an excellent read. Okay, so that was everything that I got from Amazon. Again, in my mind, that was all free because I got a gift card that I would have never had otherwise, so it was free money in my opinion. So next up, I have 2 books from Abesbooks.com, and they're both for school next year. So for next year, we're gonna be doing 2 handicrafts. This is how I figured it out. We're gonna be doing 2. The first one we're gonna be doing is Paper Sloyd for Primary Grades. This is a Yesterday's Classic book from their publishing company, and it's used. It doesn't look like it though, so I don't really know. It looks brand new to me, in my opinion, and I paid half price for it. I think I paid $7 when it's going for about $14.99 on yesterdaysclassics.com and on Amazon, so that was an amazing steal at Abesbooks. But this is basically paper folding, but it incorporates geometry, which is actually gonna be really helpful, I think, for my older student, because she's already kind of delving into the world of geometry a little bit in her 2nd grade math. And then my 1st grader, well, my will-be 1st grader, she's in kindergarten now, loves building things, and she's really good with her hands, so I think this will be a really good handicraft for both of them. And the second book I got is actually for my oldest daughter for next year, because she is following Ambleside Online Year 2 schedule next year. Right now she's in Year 1 schedule, and they start Pilgrim's Progress in Year 2. Now I went with Little Pilgrim's Progress version of it because it's anthropomorphic in nature. I consider us secular homeschoolers, and this is Christian based. But I probably should preface that I do claim that we are spiritual. I am spiritual, at least. I don't know if I go fully into I'm religious or not. I went to Catholic school my entire life. I am very well versed in understanding of the Bible and New Testament and Old Testament. But I don't want to get into a whole talk about religion and everything in this series, but I feel like I don't fit into either category in the homeschool world. Maybe that's a whole other video where we talk about how I feel like it's either you have to be secular or you are religious. I am somebody who falls in the in-between, and I'm very open, and I like to learn about all different things. And I really, at the end of the day, want my kids to have good moral instruction and build great character. And I do think that a lot of religious texts help with that. To include this one, because it's honestly just, I read about it and I researched and I thought about this, and I was like, okay, we're going to include it. It is about a quest. Now it's the quest to get to the Celestial City, and it's obviously a religious pilgrimage when you boil it down to the crux of it, but it's also about enduring the tough times, building relationships with people you meet along the way, helping others. I don't know how to explain it outside the fact that I think it has a good moral and story to it, and I'm not scared of religious concepts and things, because at the end of the day, I actually am more spiritual than I am secular. And I hate that we have to put labels on things in the homeschooling community, especially on YouTube. I feel like everybody should just do what makes them happy, and I think this will make my kids happy. Also, the illustrations are absolutely so beautiful. Like, look at that. They're so pretty. And I read a little bit of it. I haven't pre-read the whole thing, but it seems like it's going to be a really good story for the girls to read. So this is actually both Christian story and Christiana story. So we'll only read half of it next year, the first half. And then in year 3, I think we then read Christiana's story. I don't know if I'll read her the actual Pilgrim's Progress, the non-anthropomorphic one. I'll figure that one out later date. But I think that my girls will really like this. So we're going to read this with my oldest daughter first, and then the following year read it with my younger daughter. Oh, also forgot to mention that I got Pilgrim's Progress for $14. It said it was in very good shape. This looks like brand new. I would not have known that this was pre-used. I don't know if it was pre-owned, to be honest. Funny enough, it got shipped from Belfast and it got here pretty quick. But I got this for $14, and I think it's going for $21 on Amazon. So I felt like that was a really good deal, and I think it's brand new. I don't believe them that it was used. Next up, I purchased one book from eBay, and I've been going back and forth on what I wanted to do. I got the Handbook of Nature Study. This is a beast of the book. Look at how big that is, and there is so much nature study in there. Oh my gosh. But what I was going back and forth on was, did I want to purchase this one, which I think it's under $30 on Amazon. Rightfully so. I mean, there is a lot in here. Or did I want to buy Living Book Press's brand new, well, not brand new, but newer version of this, where they've broken it out into smaller books, smaller chunks, easier to take with you when you're going out into the field per se. And they have beautiful photographic pictures. They're actual real pictures of animals, not gray, hard to read drawings or pictures. And they are just gorgeous. Actually, hold on one second. I'll show you the difference. Okay, so here is the version from Living Book Press. This is the introduction. So this is the first part of this book. And this is free in a PDF file on livingbookpress.com's website. I'll link it down below for you to go check it out. They have a freebie book every month. They actually normally have a few, which is great. And I love that they do that for the community to give back to people. I hate reading on screens, so I went ahead and printed off, and then I bound it. But here's what I mean by, and my printer's obviously not going to do these complete justice, but like they actually have the real photographs, color photographs of animals, streams. You see the difference. So that's much, more pleasant to look at. But the thing is, if I buy the whole series at once, if I wait for one of their 20% off sales, although I do have a 10% off discount code, I'll leave that down below with the website as well for Living Book Press. I'm trying to decide if I want to do the wait for a 20% off sale and buy the entire collection, and then I think that gets it down to like $96. The problem is $96, and I would get the soft books. I wouldn't get the hard books because I think their soft books are really good quality and they'll stand the test of time because we love Living Book Press books. They're amazing. But I thought in the meantime, while I was toying over if I wanted to buy that whole series or not, go ahead and get this guy because I found it for $14. $14. That's wild. Because that's half price of what it's listed. It's $30 on Amazon. And it said it was it was like new, like kind of used. And when I got it, I looked at it, I was like, the binding doesn't seem broken. Like it looks brand new. And then what I realized, so if you look at it, it's a little off because this is a misprint. Look at the cover. It's slanted and it's coming off. Do you see it? Here you can see the white coming up. So does that bother my type A personality? Absolutely. But it's not about the cover. It's about the content inside of it. And I got it for over 50% off. So I'm not going to whine about it too much. However, ultimately, I think I would like to eventually, maybe not this year, maybe I'll budget it for next year's school year, like 2026 to 2027, and buy the Living Book Press series. Because again, full color, beautifully, really good, this obviously isn't it, but really great binding. Like Living Book Press does a really good job, really good quality books, and they're smaller increments. So it's like they have birds in one book, and if we're doing a bird study, I can take just that book with me on our nature hike, if that makes sense. Also, I think these will be a lot nicer later on when my girls want to read more about nature study on their own for them to read. They can be like a keepsake that we can keep. So I think eventually I will splurge on these, but I couldn't pass up $14 for this, even with the weird binding of the jacket cover. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go over 2 books that I got at Thriftbooks. And I'm really excited about this one because it's for my daughter, my oldest daughter. So if you're not familiar with my channel and you haven't seen my previous videos, we did a Harry Potter book 1 unit study for Christmas this year in the month of December. And one of the spine books for the program that we use, and I'll link it up above if you wanna go check that out. It's a really good program. We will be doing 1 book every year at Christmas time. That's our little special treat for homeschooling at Christmas. But the spines that she uses for the program, you use them over each of the books. And one of them is a kid's herb book. I was trying to cut back on budget and I decided not to purchase this one, and I was able to get it from my library for the Harry Potter study. Of course, that's the one that she loved the most. It's all about herbs and medicinal uses, and there's drawings in here. There's songs in here. Like there's literally music that she could play on the piano in here, like learning about calendula. There's a calendula song, so she could, when she gets really good at the piano, she can play that. I mean, there's just so much in here. It's actually very functional, and she's very into plants and nature. And so she asked me, she's like, "Mommy, why didn't we buy this one?" I was like, "Well, I don't know, maybe you can get it for Easter or something, we'll see." So I got this for her, and I'm gonna give it to her for Easter, and she's gonna be so excited. It's kind of been in and out of stock on Amazon. I'll try and link it down below if I can on Amazon. If not, I'll try and find another place that I can link it. I just do Amazon because that's universal and most people have access to that. But I'm really excited about that one. And then the next book we got is for next school year. And it is for our science that we're gonna be doing. I made the decision not to go forward with elemental science, which I'll talk about further in a later video when I talk about subjects for next year. We are gonna use Blossom and Roots Level 2, the plant and fungi kingdom. And one of the spines is the tree book. This one is actually in really good condition. Yeah, like, oh, y'all, somebody had leaves crushed in there and I literally opened it up to the page. How funny is that? Gosh, I love used books. You find all sorts of fun stuff in it. I didn't go that far into the book. I just looked at the first couple pages and they look great. But that's the page that they had pressed them in. But the only thing I see on here is like somebody drew on that, and I bet I can get that off with some lemon essential oil. Oh my gosh, y'all, there's more leaves in here. Okay, I'm gonna look at this later. But we need this as one of the spines for our science program. Oh, I forgot to mention, I got that for $10, and I think it's going for like 13 or 15 on Amazon, so it was a couple dollars off, so I felt pretty good about that. And I get all these extra leaves. Wherever it came from, they had a really good maple tree near them. That's so funny, oh my gosh. Okay, I just have 2 more places to talk about where I got books from. So, second to last place was from Christianbook.com. And I'm actually pretty pumped about these. I've been eyeing these books because they're for my younger daughter's year 1 Ambleside online schedule for next year, but they're kind of expensive. But again, girl math is happening here. I use my credit cards like a debit card. I know a lot of people tell me they're like, I could never do that. I have no willpower. And I don't know. I budget and I only spend what's in my budget. And I pay up my credit cards off every month. But the good part is I use them in a way where I maximize my points. And I had actually way more points, but I used some of my points basically to cover the cost of these books. So they are free because I wouldn't have had that cash back if I hadn't used my credit cards wisely. And then since I pay them off, I'm not paying anything in interest. So it's free money. Okay. So the point is, again, I feel like that's legitimate math. Maybe it is girl math, whatever. So I got a few of the Delore books for my youngest daughter's biography reads for next year. So the first one I got is George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and these are Beautiful Feet books, Buffalo Bill, and then those 3 are scheduled, and then Pocahontas is on the free reads list, and I was like, you know what, we got to get the Pocahontas one. And these are really, they kind of remind me of Hulling C. Hulling books, like Paddle to the Sea, Tree in the Trail. They have beautiful illustrations. They're easy, short reads. And I think my youngest daughter is going to love them. My oldest daughter was like, can I sit down and listen when you read them? I was like, of course, like you can sit in on it. You just don't have to, you know, because it's not part of your curriculum technically. But she was like, I want to learn about them. Because that's the one thing, if you're not familiar with us, we were trialing some of Ambleside Online Year 1's books in term 1 this year. We just did a few just to see if we liked them, and we loved them. So I added in a few more, some of the big ones like the history spines, like our Island Story and 50 Famous Stories, things like that. But I didn't add in everything for term 2 and term 3 this year. So these are the books that my oldest daughter is not reading this year and she's missing out on. But so I told her, yeah, you can absolutely sit in on these next year when your sister goes through Ambleside Online Year 1. But I get why these are such a big hit in the homeschooling community. They're really well done. And those books are $13.35 each on Christian Book. That is the cheapest place I found them. Other places I saw them going for insane amounts of money. Like Thriftbooks.com had one of those listed for $40. I was like, oh my gosh, like shop around, y'all. And I really like thrift books, so don't get me wrong. But that kind of was a little crazy to me. So if you are looking for those books, I did find good prices on Amazon as well. But for all of those books, they were consistently all at $13.35. So that was the cheapest for me when I was buying all 4 of them essentially. So otherwise I probably would have bought the ones off Amazon. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to share with you the books that I got from my local thrift store. Now, my thrift store has a standard just across the board 50 cents for softcover books and $1 for hardcover books, which is insane because I've gotten some really beautiful, great books for $1, and it blows my mind. So I found some good ones at our local thrift store this time. I've been trying to get my kid a dictionary, but I got the McGraw-Hill Children's Dictionary. I brought it home and my husband was like, you didn't get Merriam-Webster? I was like, okay, listen, it's the thrift store. You don't get what you want all the time. But there were actually quite a few children's dictionaries at our thrift store. I think everybody was cleaning house after Christmas, I guess, for their homeschools. And I looked at a bunch of them, and this one was the most up-to-date from a copyright perspective. And I just liked the way it was laid out. And frankly, even if this isn't our last dictionary, I just wanted her to have one to start learning how to look up a word in it. And we're starting to do that with the way that we use our McGuffey readers. The companion notebook we have has a spot where you can look up vocabulary. So she's learning dictionary skills right now. Along with that, there was also quite a few thesauruses. So I went ahead and got the American Heritage Student Thesaurus. Again, there were quite a few different copies, and I just compared and contrast all of them for $1 each. If we end up deciding to get another, dictionary or thesaurus at a later date, it's totally fine. I don't feel like it was money wasted, because I just want my kids to start getting excited about words, their meanings, synonyms, antonyms, all that good stuff. So this has been a good one as well. This was an exciting find, because funny enough, I found book 1 of Fix It Grammar last year there, and I scooped it up for 50 cents, and now I have book 3 for 50 cents. And then the cool part is that if you go inside of these books, there is a link that it says to go to, and you can print off the student book for free. And we are big printers here. We love PDF files in our homeschool because it's very financially prudent that we can print off things. When you have more than one learner, you pay for it once, you print it off multiple times. So I snagged this copy. If I can't find book 2 by the time we need to use it, I'll go ahead and pay for it, because I've saved so much money on level 1 and level 3 by buying them at the thrift store. We're gonna start Fix It Grammar level 1 next year with my oldest daughter being in 3rd grade. I had her trial it out, and she was like, this is so much fun. And I know that goes against the Charlotte Mason methodology. We're not purists, but Charlotte Mason is very much about don't show your kiddos the wrong way ever. You always want to show them the right way to do it. Fix It Grammar shows you a sentence that is incorrect and you have to go fix it, which goes against what Charlotte Mason says. It's the opposite, but she loves it. She's my language arts girl. She loves the written word. She loves foreign language. She loves reading. So I was not shocked that when we tried it out that she was like, I love this. Can we start now? And I was like, well, let's wait till next year. You're not supposed to do this, I think, until 3rd grade technically, but she's my language arts girl. But yeah, so I was super excited to find this. Then I was actually, it was just, man, y'all, it was a gold mine at the thrift store. I also found this, the Everything Kids Money book, basically in brand new condition. And we are going to do, I had already planned before finding this to buy a book like this, because we are going to do a financial literacy kind of unit study over the summer this year, introducing my kiddos to money. They know what money is. They know the value of $1, a quarter, penny, etc. But more about, I really want them to understand banks, investing, the concept of saving, how you can earn money, business. My older daughter she's very artistic as well. She's right-brained, right? She's my left-handed child. She's right-brained. So she's very creative and she likes language arts. She's a really good drawer. She's like, Mommy, I want to draw stickers and I want to sell them. And I was like, okay, well, why don't we first just try making stickers? Because I've got a Cricut, I've got an iPad with a drawing stencil, we can get a program for her. Let's see if we actually like doing it. And if you really do, then maybe this summer alongside this, we will do kind of a project where you can we'll sit down together, we'll work out the math, the finances, all that stuff of creating your own sticker business and what that would entail. And I think that would actually be a good exercise in money and math for her too. So using this one and then maybe doing that. And then also the FDIC has a free program. It's a unit study for teaching kids financial literacy. So we might incorporate that too. I don't know, but we're definitely gonna be using this. Okay, and then also one other thing I snagged is American Girl, The Care and Keeping of You 2. This is the older book for older kids going into more mature themes, about becoming a lady. We have the first one, which I also found at our thrift store. I'm going to introduce the first book to my oldest daughter because it says 8 to 12 years old, I think is what it recommends for The Care and Keeping of You 1. But she's a very mature girl. I kind of feel like I want to start talking to her about these concepts. A lot of it's hygiene and things like that. So we'll go through that this coming school year as kind of like sprinkle it in, a few pages every week. And then this one, it says, let me see if I can find it because I think it recommends a specific age level, 10 and up, I think is what it says for this one. So then in a few years, we'll do this one after that. And it'll go into more of the puberty type things. Okay, and last but not least, the last 3 books that we got were just books that my girls really wanted and they love this stuff. So my youngest daughter found these 2. They're part of the same series. It's the Secret Explorers. She's very into dinosaurs right now, so she saw that and she was like, Mommy, I need to have this for 50 cents. I was like, okay. And then this one is the Lost Whales. We're reading through this one right now, and she is absolutely enjoying it. And she's like, Mommy, can we get more in this series? So we'll be keeping an eye out at the thrift store for more of these. And then my oldest daughter is getting into comic books, graphic novels. She is reading voraciously, and she was introduced to this series, Amulet. There is 8 in the series, I think, and she has the first 2 that we got from our local comic store. She flew through those. I told her we needed to kind of slow down because they're not cheap. They're $14, and but then we found this one at the thrift store, and I was like, why don't we try and collect them, you know, and if we can't find the 3rd book within the next month or 2 at the thrift store, we'll go ahead and purchase it, but that way we can kind of like pace her a little bit. But so we found book 6, so that's one less one that we have to go and find and purchase for her. Whew, y'all, that was a lot of books. But okay, so let me do the math real quick on this. Okay, for all those books I just went over with you, I spent just about $75. That includes taxes and shipping also. I'm actually impressed with myself because $75 does seem like a lot, but this is a lot of books, and this is a lot of big books too, like big reference guides and things like that, not tiny little books like one of these readers. So I'm pretty proud of myself. If you guys have any questions about the books that I mentioned, leave them down in the comments. If you are new to my channel and you like all things homeschooling and anything having to do with homeschooling, hit that subscribe button because you will probably enjoy my channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, y'all.